Great. So you mentioned that a lot of the hires come from McKinsey, which is where you came from as well. But what are some of the biggest differences between where you're at now at Lineo and working in consulting?
There's actually some similarities and some big differences. I'd say that the biggest difference is probably on the day-to-day work and what you do. When I worked in McKinsey, my schedule was pretty much determined for me. I had a project, I had a couple of steering groups. In between those steering groups, I met a lot of people based on those discussions and the spreadsheets I was working on. I created some PowerPoint presentations. And the day before the meeting was a super stressful day, and you finalized all your 50 slides. It's very much structure on the meetings with your clients and the key deliverables you have. In the work I have now, I have almost unlimited sort of like freedom in terms of structuring my own day. The only caveat is from time to time you go to big investor meetings, fundraising processes, then you're a little bit more locked into like the schedules that they have. But other than that, I drive my own priorities and I drive my own agenda. It's a huge difference. And another huge difference is the type of work you do. And to some extent, it couldn't be much more different. In McKinsey, you typically, in the consulting industry, you typically focus on making long-term plans, finding opportunities, and helping your clients find a way to hopefully implement that in the next 3, 6, 1 year, 2 years. Your output is typically a PowerPoint presentation. It's completely different from how we're operating. We don't have any PowerPoint in the company whatsoever. So like our overall philosophy on all levels, that's a big waste of time in almost any context. And it's much more focused on executing today, executing tomorrow, and driving results on a daily and hourly basis. So for me personally, it's been very refreshing to get into that mindset, and it's also something that's pretty fun with tech, e-commerce related companies, because a lot of the initiatives and changes you do, you have immediate results. It's not like you're a consultant that give away your project and you have to watch in the news if something happens. When we do our initiatives and projects, we put it live on the site, and the same day we can see if it worked or not, which is very exciting. You can get that instantaneous feedback on whether you're on track or not. On the other side, there are some similarities. Like all Rocket businesses, I'd say probably all tech e-commerce companies should be very, very numbers focused. So we pretty much manage our whole operations, any strategy discussion, anything that happens in the business stems from data crunching. The benefit of e-commerce is obviously that you have pretty much unlimited availability of data, which also allows you to do very detailed and qualified analysis, much more than you actually ever could do as a consultant. So you typically work with imperfect data from your clients. So sort of like enjoying data, enjoying numbers, and being good at analyzing them is an absolute critical skill also here. And then the other big similarity between, say, Rocket and consulting firms is the knowledge sharing part. It's very similar how consulting firms extract knowledge from one project to another, and how Rocket does it from one venture to another.